Boy oh boy, is there a lot to talk about with this amazing album. Rainbow Rising came out in 1976. The artwork is incredible. It shows a giant metal fist coming out of like a mountain. There's a rainbow going through it, and the landscape looks beautiful and epic, and the color scheme is amazing. Although it does look a little bit gay, let's be honest, but gay in a good way. Now let's just get something out of the way here. Not only is this the best Rainbow album easily, but I think it's the best album Ronnie James Dio has ever sung on, and the best album Ritchie Blackmore has ever played on. It's almost like a super group lineup with this album, because every single member is fucking amazing. So Ritchie sacked pretty much every other member from Elf, or that bass player that was brought in to do the first album, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. So we got Cozy Powell on drums, Jimmy Bain on bass, and this amazing keyboardist known as Tony Carey, which funnily enough, Ritchie Blackmore will sack for the next album because he thought Tony was too good. And to go with that, they got Martin Birch, the epic producer, which I think did early Black Sabbath and pretty much all the early Iron Maiden albums. He produced all those masterpieces. His production is fucking flawless. The whole album sounds beautiful, it sounds magical. It sounds rockin', it sounds keyboardin', it sounds drum, and fucking everything is magical with this album. And what sucks is Ronnie James Dio thought this album wasn't that good. He thought the first half, when, by the way, this album only has 6 songs, he thought the first 3 were good, and then he didn't like the last 2 because he thought they were too long and too show-offy. It's progressive rock, bro. Get with the times. But I mean, there is a lot of show-offiness, the drum solos and guitar solos and shit, but it's fucking awesome. I don't get why he never liked that. I can't believe he said shit about Stargazer. This is a very short album, but it is so impactful and so epic, even though it's only 30 minutes, like literally almost exactly 30 minutes. What's cool about this album is you can also put it on a pedestal of the best metal albums, the best progressive rock albums, the best hard rock albums, the best rock albums, the best classic rock albums, because it's really in that time period where it can fit into almost anything. I believe Krang or something said this was like the best rock or metal album of all time. The first song, Parrot Woman, begins with this incredible keyboard solo. Really shows up Tony Carey's ability and builds up this epic magicness of the album. It has this sort of weird, odd-sounding gallop throughout the rest of the song, and the weird keyboard notes like almost shoot through the guitars and everything else. It sounds fucking awesome. And of course, Dio, this amazing magical lyrics that really appeal to your imagination. It is the ultimate opener for such a great album like this. The bridges are really cool that lead right into the chorus, but the thing is, the way Dio sings that is so cool. It builds up this epic fucking let's go to battle sort of sound to it. And his voice sounds so majestic throughout the entire album. This could be maybe his best vocal performance. But I'm talking too much. Parrot Woman, great on the instrumental parts are great, and it just fucking showcases everybody. It's the ultimate beginning to this album, 5 out of 5. Then we move on to Run with the Wolf, which is a lot more medieval sounding. The last song kind of sounded that way, but it was more hard rockin', a lot of galloping. But this one is very, very upbeat, sort of party around, medieval sounding song. But it's also very rockin' too. It's almost like a swaying sort of rhythm again, which is really prominent in Celtic sounding song. I just love the cool, hard rockin', nice sounding way Ronnie sings in the song. It's really beautiful and really memorable. But it's probably my second least favorite song on the album, but it's still awesome as hell. 5 out of 5, another incredible song. Then we get to Starstruck, which is not that other shitty song. I think there's 2 shitty songs called Starstruck. This one is the awesome song called Starstruck, more particularly Lady Starstruck, which he writes songs about like some ladies, like Lady of the Lake, or Evil Woman, or Evil Lady, or Lady Evil, duh. And this is no exception. The song's very kick-ass, and is one of my more favorite songs in the album. It's very, very cool. Easily the best song out of the first 3 I'm out. Very galloping, really cool. It's very kind of poppy in a way too. It's kind of that mainstream sound to it, but it does have that really catchy, awesome vibe, especially with the great, catchy build-up riffs that Ritchie Blackmore always perfectly writes. And sometimes I find myself singing the "Oh Lady, Starstruck, nothing but bad luck" sort of thing. It's very catchy. It's a fucking fun song. Let's be honest. This song is fun as hell. You can hear it now, and fuck everything. 5 out of 5. Then we get to the second side, and first we get the weakest song of the album. Now, this song is still cool. It's called "Do You Close Your Eyes," and the full thing in the song is "Do you close your eyes when you're making love?" It's a more cheesy song. It's not necessarily a cool, medieval, badass, and dragons and rainbows and shit sort of song that Ritchie or Dio would usually write. It's more of like a weird, hard-rockin' song. But once again, those catchy as hell bridges. They're just... Ritchie and Dio write these incredible melodies and riffs to bridges. And I think in Rainbow, they constructed some of the best bridges in history that connect the verses and choruses. I don't know what the fuck it is, but they're so good at writing those. And literally every song on this album has an amazing bridge. And Dio's singing definitely keeps the song from being a good or weaker song, even though it's the weaker song of the album. In fact, it's even kind of the filler on the album, and I'm still going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 because it's just so well done. It's kind of a shorter song, and it's kind of a hooky song, but it really accomplishes everything it needs to do to be a pretty damn good song. Now, to the masterpieces. As you just heard, that keyboard solo is actually not in the official versions that were released. They cut it out for some reason, even though it's awesome. It builds the mood perfectly of this almost cashmere, Phrygian, Mid-Eastern sounding song that's epic as hell. And this song, Stargazer, is easily one of the greatest songs ever and one of the greatest metal songs, rock songs, anything. It's so awesome. It seems like a lot of the Ritchie Blackmore epics that he did in Rainbow all had like Phrygian sounds to them where they sounded Mid-Eastern. Kind of weird. Like Gates of Babylon. Once again though, I don't know why they cut the keyboard solo out, but in the original version it starts with a drum solo thing and then goes into the song, but I like the keyboard intro, then the drum solo. They're both very kick-ass. Throughout this entire song, they pretty much showcase everybody. The riff sounds a bit weird at first, the first time you hear it, especially if you've heard from other people how great the song is. It sounds a bit weird at first, but then when it kind of comes full circle with the bridges and choruses, it's like everything clicks in your brain. It's kind of hard to explain. It's almost like an experience to hear this song. And on the original version, I believe, there's some sort of weird echo with Dio's voice. I don't know why there is. Fuck off, Peter! This is probably my favorite song for Dio singing and his lyrics. And just everyone who was involved with this song, I think, had their best work with this song here. The verse is very epic and very hard rockin', and then we get to the amazing bridge, and there's some orchestral stuff in here. They actually got an orchestra to perform on this song. You can hear a lot of the strings, the keyboards, and epicness on the bridge. As Dio says, "Where's your star? Is it far?" And for me, this is where the song clicked. When you hit that bridge, you just realize how incredible and special this song truly is. And the chorus just hits you like a brick. You have the awesome orchestral stuff with keyboards, and you can almost hear like a choir or something in there too. It just sounds so epic as hell, and the way Dio just screams and just does this amazing emotional delivery of some of the high notes and these incredibly passionate and inspirational and epic lyrics. Then we go to the instrumental part, which is amazing. You have a lot of great riffs that sound very magical. This is incredible lengthy guitar solo from Richie Blackmore in the center as well, which I believe might be the reason Dio didn't like the song, because the solo goes on for so long. But it doesn't wear out its welcome. When it starts to maybe get too long, then it starts having the epic magical riffs come in, and then after that quick movement, then he goes to do some more crazy soloing, then that magical awesome riff comes in, and then he finishes off the solo. It's actually a really cool, interesting way to keep a solo from being boring, and it is incredible and purely intelligent songwriting from Richie. And then when it comes back to the verses and choruses, it somehow sounds more epic than before. The violins are very prominent in the verse this time around, everything just sounds so cool. Now I will note something I did not like, it's a very minor thing, I didn't like the constant cymbal smashing during the verse in some parts. It just kind of drowns it out a bit. But, I mean, I'm saying something bad about the song. I'm fucking retarded. And I love the way they just kind of fade the song out of playing the same thing over and over. Led Zeppelin does that a lot, and it does become tedious with a lot of other bands. But this is a classic example of when it's done well. Dio keeps almost like rambling all these magical sounding things and repeating some of the stuff said earlier in the song and saying it in a different way, a more passionate, awesome, high-pitched and drawn-out notes way. And his awesome screaming at the end is truly magical. This song, if you give anything lower than a 5 out of 5, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Now we move on to the final epic song, which is a lot more rockin', a lot more upbeat, and a little less epic. But it does have pretty epic length because it's like 8 minutes. Very rockin', it has this really cool, crazy, fast, almost speed metal riff. It's truly more of a metal song as opposed to a hard rockin' song in my opinion. And the rhythm is really insane. You can hear the bass and drums do this incredible driving rhythm. The I'm Coming Home chorus is really cool too, and I believe that was another addition to the song title. Cooler sounding song title in my opinion, The Light in the Black, Coming Home. And there's another instrumental section, I believe there's a keyboard solo in there too that's absolutely insane. That's like it's trying to mimic bagpipes or something. It sounds really weird. Or it's an actual bagpipe. I don't even know it. And then of course another amazing Richie Blackmore solo. Although I do think it would have been more appropriate to throw Stargazer on as the last track and have Light in the Black come before, but that's just my personal stupid opinion. But then again, I have to critique Pure Gold like this. But this Pure Gold that still remains one of my favorite albums. I have to give a 9.8 out of 10. Still very, very good, but it is dragged down in a couple sections.